Welcome back. As you can see, we're making some very nice progress here on our first issue. And before we dive in and just finish this up, there's a couple of things I'd like to show you. I'm going to start out in the Pages panel, and I just wanted to show you that this is a 6-page layout, and we've got 3 portrait pages and 3 landscape pages. The layouts pretty much correspond with each other, and that will give your reader the opportunity to rotate their tablet to read in either landscape or portrait mode. That's a nice little preference to give them. I'm going to now just close up the Pages panel, and I want to take a look at something that's pretty important here. I'm going to open up the Type menu, and I'm going to go to Find Font. And you'll notice that when I look at all the fonts that are in this document, they are either of OpenType or TrueType format. Those are the only 2 formats you want to use for your documents. Those are the ones that are supported on the iPad, and so you want to stick to that and try to avoid the use of system fonts. I'll click Done. And now let's take a look at the layout. So the first thing I want to do is open up the animation panel, because there's a few things I want to do on this page. Now, some of the animation's already been set. I can click on the 15 things here, and you can see it's flying in from the left. I can click on Summer, and that's also flying in from the left. But when I click on to see before, that's not doing anything, and that's just not going to look right. Now, since the other 2 are flying in from the left, let's mix this up a little bit and have this one fly in from the right. I just want to make sure that on-page load is selected, and also that To Current Location is selected. They are, so I'm just going to move on, and I've got this pretty attractive little graphic down here in the corner, and I want this to fade in. So I'm going to select it, and I will simply choose Fade In. Again, on-page load is selected. This time I want to make sure that the animation is going to current appearance. So that's now selected. Everything looks pretty good in the animation panel, so I'm going to close that up. And I want to open up the timing panel now to make sure everything is going to be coming in the right order. I notice that Summer is coming in first. To See Before is coming in at the end here, so I just want to get these in the right order. So I'm going to drag 15 things to the top, and then I'm going to drag To See Before on top of that. Then I've got the little food icon down in the bottom there coming in last, and that's how I want it to work. So now I can just close up the timing panel, and I've got the cover pretty well set. So from here, we're going to move on to the next page and take a look at what we can do there. So let's just scroll down to page 2 and take a look at what we've got. Well, I've got a frame in place here, and I'm going to select it. And I want to put a video in there. So I'm just going to select Control D to place. On the Mac, that would be Command D. And I'm going to scroll down until I find my video. And here it is. It's an MP4 video. I'm going to select that. I'll say Open. And the video is going to be placed. I want to open up the media panel here with that video placed, and I want to get a nice poster image. A poster image is simply a placeholder that shows up when the video is not playing. So I've got a graphic that I want to put here in its place. So I'm just going to select the drop down for poster and choose image. I'm going to find my links panel and scroll down, and I have a nice screenshot that I want to use here, so I'm going to select that, and I'm going to just say Open. And now I've got a nice looking screenshot there to take the place of that video when it's not playing. So I can just close the media panel, but before I do, I also want to give my viewers a chance to actually control that video, if they want to start it, if they want to stop it. So under the controller drop down, I'm going to select skin all over. And I want to make sure that that controller does show up on rollover, so we'll just select that. And I am going to close the media panel. And we're going to move on to page 3 and see what we've got there. So I'm going to scroll down, and I've got a frame that's drawn here at the bottom, and I'd like a Twitter feed to appear here when the viewer gets to this page. So with this frame selected, I'm going to open up the hyperlinks panel, and I am going to select new hyperlink down at the bottom of the panel. I want to make sure that link to file is selected, and I'm going to just browse to the proper folder. Now notice that I have a folder for this file, and you'll also notice that there are no special characters, there are no spaces. The naming of that folder is important. Stick to alphanumeric characters and underscores or hyphens. I am going to go into that folder, and I want to select this HTML file here. Now this file contains all of the code I need to display that Twitter feed, so I'm going to select that. There's also some CSS and some JavaScript in here, and that's going to be important to playing that, but it's the index file that you want to select. I'll say open. I'll say OK. Now nothing's going to show up on screen in InDesign, so don't look for anything here. But when the viewer does get to this page, they will see the Twitter feed if you've done everything correctly. And we'll get into testing this later on in another video. I'm going to close up the hyperlinks panel, and I want to show you one more thing before we go. I am going to switch over to my browser. And remember, I showed you that video just a little while ago. The specifications for that video are very important, and we do have a page on our website, docs.pressrun.com/display/pressrunserver/video. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you'll see that we have video encoding specifications here. You're going to want to make a special note of that. Those are requirements, and you're going to want to stick with those. So I'll go back to my InDesign layout, and we're just about ready to go here. In our next couple of videos, we're going to upload this file using the PressRun exporter extension. And finally, we're going to test it out on an iPad and make sure that everything is good to go.